Over the last week or two, I've had so many people messaging me saying, Rich, how can I get more babies? Why am I not getting many babies? Why is my shrimp colony not growing as quickly as I want it to? So I thought I would make a video giving you 8 quick tips of how you can improve the number of babies you get from your shrimp colony. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Richard and I'm the author of the Neocaridina Shrimp Handbook. So quick tip number 1 is to make sure you've got a good male to female ratio. Now, when it comes to shrimp, in fact, when it comes to pretty much every animal I can think of, it's the female that produces the babies. The female produces the eggs. The female holds onto those eggs while they're developing. It does you no good to have 1 female and 4 males because each month to 6 weeks, you'll only get 1 batch of eggs. If, on the other hand, you had 4 females to 1 male, that male can service all 4 females every 4, 5, 6 weeks, however often those females are ready to breed. So many people will send me a picture of their tank and look at the shrimp and you say, yeah, but you've only got 3 females and you've got 11 males. You're only gonna get 3 lots of eggs each month from that group of shrimp. If you had switched that ratio around and got yourself 11 females and 3 males, there's a good chance you would be getting 11 batches of babies every single month. In my experience, you want 1 male to every 3 or 4 females. You don't want the ratio to be much higher. It'd be very difficult for 1 male to be able to service 10 females each month because the male needs to be available, needs to be ready to breed shortly after that female molts. And if he's got to find 10 females and breed with each of those an hour or 2 after they molt and are ready to produce some eggs, he's going to struggle. So to produce a good number of babies from your tank, make sure you've got 1 male for every 3 or 4 females. Quick tip number 2 is to make sure your tank is sufficiently mature. In an ideal world, you'll leave your tank to mature before you add the shrimp. Now, why is this important? Shrimp, and especially baby shrimp, want to feed at a microscopic level. They want to spend their day grazing on algae and biofilm and microscopic crustaceans that naturally develop in your aquariums. You can't get a bottle of microscopic life and feed it once a day. You have to allow the tank to mature. You have to allow algae to start to grow. You have to allow biofilm to start to develop on pretty much every surface in your tank. And then you will notice your shrimp spend their entire day on the aquarium glass, on the rocks, on the plant leaves, picking at the algae, picking at the biofilm, eating microscopic life. And this is especially true of the baby. Whilst we can feed the adult shrimp, and we do put in pellet food, algae wafers, rapashi, bloodworm, whatever it might be, the babies, after they're born, don't tend to move for the first week or 2. They need, wherever they are deposited, to be covered in biofilm, to be covered in algae, to be covered in that microscopic life that they can eat for the first week or 2 of their life before they venture out into the main part of your tank. So quick tip number 2 is allow the tank to mature before you add the shrimp. Or if you've already added your shrimp, just give it time. Leave them be, feed the adults well for 2, 3, 4 months, and then concentrate on trying to build your colony. Quick tip number 3 is make sure you haven't got any predators in your tank. Now, most people, when you say predators, they think, well, I'm not keeping Oscars, I'm not keeping red-tailed catfish. To a shrimp, and especially a baby shrimp, a neon tetra is a hardcore predator. A guppy is a predator. A chili raspora to a baby shrimp is a predator. Baby shrimp are tiny, and even the smallest of fish will happily come along, suck up a baby shrimp, suck up a baby shrimp. Before you know it, your female has deposited 20, 30, 40 babies, and a small tetra has come along and quite happily picked off almost every single one. You could have the perfect setup, a good male to female ratio, plenty of life and biofilm and algae in the tank, but you've also got 3 neon tetras, and 3 neon tetras will happily munch through an entire colony of baby shrimp. So quick tip number 3 is make sure you've got nothing in your tank eating your shrimp. Now, quick tip number 4 is very similar, and that is if you are running a canister filter or a hang-on back filter, make sure you have a sponge over the intake. Both canister filters and hang-on back filters come with those plastic strainers, which are great for stopping fish from getting sucked into them. But they do absolutely nothing for stopping shrimp, and especially baby shrimp, from being sucked in. That intake pipe is there drawing water up 24 hours a day. A baby shrimp just swims past and it's gone. It's up the pipe and it's either killed by the impeller or it ends up in the filter media where 9 times out of 10, they end up perishing before you realize. It doesn't matter how good your setup is and what a great colony of shrimp you have. if you're running a hang-on back filter or a canister filter without an intake sponge over the intake to the filter, there is almost no doubt you will lose the vast majority of your babies up that intake pipe into the filter where they will perish. Now, I have opened hang-on back filters before to service them and find there's a small colony of shrimp in there. I've had the same with canister filters. There's no doubt more shrimp will die than will survive if they get sucked up that intake pipe. Quick tip number 5 is to make sure you feed your adult shrimp a good quality, ideally high protein diet. When my wife and I used to breed shrimp commercially, we would feed our shrimp lots and lots of frozen bloodworm. Frozen bloodworm is high in protein, and the female shrimp need that protein, A, to grow big and strong, but also to produce lots and lots of healthy eggs. I'm always astonished when people message me, proud as proud can be, to say, Richard, I don't even feed my shrimp. And they tout that around like a badge of honor. Shrimp will survive without being fed. In these tanks, there's enough algae, enough biofilm, enough microscopic life for the shrimp to survive. But if you want your colony to thrive, if you want to produce lots of strong, colorful baby shrimp, then make sure you feed your shrimp a good quality diet. Make sure you're giving them lots and lots of frozen bloodworm especially. I tend to try and give my shrimp real variety. Pellets, algae wafers, bloodworm, brine shrimp, rapashi. I try and really mix it up and get as much food in them as I can. The bigger I can build my adult colony, the more babies they're going to produce month after month after month. Quick tip number 6 is to add a clump of Java moss. If you look in pretty much every single one of my tanks, you will find I've got a good clump of Java moss. Now, when the female shrimp is ready to release her eggs, she's ready for the babies to come out of their eggs and make their way into the main part of the aquarium, she looks for somewhere safe to deposit them. Now, she will choose usually a good pile of rocks or a decent clump of Java moss. And in my experience, Java moss works so well because it is absolutely covered in biofilm, in microscopic life, even the starts of algae. When you breed shrimp and you have a clump of Java moss, if you look at that clump of Java moss carefully, you will notice it is absolutely teeming with baby shrimp. The baby shrimp love it. They can get deep down into the middle, out of harm's way. They can move around freely to find the best patch of biofilm. And Java moss has such a huge surface area, it can support dozens and dozens and dozens of baby shrimp at any one time. Tip number 7 is to reduce your water changes, or at least don't carry out unnecessary water changes. Shrimp love stability. I've said this time and time and time again. Shrimp love a stable environment. And many of us, myself included for years, change our water regularly out of fear. I have to change it once a week. I have to change it once a month, whatever it might be. Drain it down 50%, fill it back up. Oof, we can relax. I now firmly believe that our shrimp want a stable environment to live in. And we should only change the water when we have to. If we've tested the water and for some reason we've got an ammonia spike, yes, you want to change the water because that will kill your shrimp. If you're testing the water and your nitrates are off the chart, again, change your water, reduce it down, do what you've got to do. But before you carry out a water change, do a test. Put a test strip in the aquarium, give it a minute or however long it takes, check the reading. If everything is good, don't change water. Allow a stable environment to develop and your shrimp will thank you for it. Your shrimp will be happier and, in my experience, healthier and breed more when they live in a stable environment rather than one which is constantly being messed about with. Now, before I move on to tip number 8, just a quick reminder that my book, the Neocaridina Shrimp Handbook, is available as a digital download direct to your device, your phone, your iPad, whatever, or as a physical paperback directly from Amazon. And I'll put links to both ways of purchasing the book in the description below. So quick tip number 8 is to add botanicals to your shrimp tank. And what do we mean by botanicals? We mean catappa leaves, we mean oak leaves, beech leaves, we mean alder cones, we mean any of dozens and dozens of different botanicals available either online or at your local fish store that you can add to your shrimp tank. And as these botanicals break down, as the catappa leaves break down, they're absolutely covered in bacteria and shrimp feast on that bacteria. If you add 2 or 3 catappa leaves to your shrimp breeding tank and check back in 3, 4, 5 weeks time, lift up the leaves and you will notice underside is absolutely covered in baby shrimp. Baby shrimp thrive when they've got catappa leaves or oak leaves or beech leaves in the aquarium with you. I would go as far to say as adding botanicals is an absolute essential for every shrimp tank. And if you want to know another 6 things that are essential for every shrimp tank, watch this video next. Thanks for watching.